notice paper.
Thank you. Call the member for Fisher.
Mr Deputy Speaker, I move the motion as the Deputy Chair of the Parliament's Defence Subcommittee and previously its Chair. I've been privileged to spend a great deal of time with members of the ADF and veterans. The men and women who serve our nation in uniform are owed a great debt for their sacrifice, their service and their love of country. That's why I've been so passionate about veterans' well-being since my election in 2016. I want to acknowledge the member for Herbert and all members in this House who have served this country in uniform. Unlike Labor, we elevated the Veterans' portfolio to Cabinet. Unlike Labor, we delivered the Veterans' Covenant with the support of veterans in the LNP. Unlike Labor, we invested $11.5 billion in a plan to back our nation's 340,000 veterans and veterans' family members. In 2018, the former coalition government introduced a program to maintain incapacity payments for veterans who were undertaking approved study. The same coalition government then further provided a 100% subsidy complementing existing incapacity payments. Last year, we passed a further bill on incapacity payments for veterans' rehabilitation and compensation. This bipartisan support was a sign that the government would carry on the successful programs of the coalition government. It turns out that that was just wishful thinking. Now, 8 months later, not only is 100% subsidy gone, but the entire program comes to an end. It's over from the 1st of July this year. We had no consultation, no rationale and no warning. Veterans part way through their approved courses will now be out of pocket. I call on the government, and it's very appropriate that the Minister for Veterans Affairs is in the chamber here listening. I hope he's listening. I call on the government and I call on the minister to restore those payments. I also think, Mr Deputy Speaker, that there is an enormous opportunity that we are missing in this country in relation to fostering veterans' well-being and their long-term success. And I want to also acknowledge the member for Braddon, who's walked in the chamber as well, and acknowledge his service in this country. If there's any other veterans on either side of the House or anywhere near the chamber, come on in, you're more than welcome. Always welcome. Mr Deputy Speaker, approximately 1 in 10 Australians will experience PTSD in their lifetime, 1 in 10. Veterans are among those most significantly at risk, particularly in the transition to civilian life. In transition, there is often a sense of purposelessness, a loss of community, and a change in the structure, expectations and routine which scaffolds a life in the military. We know that education can play a transformative role in a person's life, contributing to their personal and financial recovery and growth. We know that this is what many ADF members and veterans want. In the interim report to the Royal Commission into Defence and Veteran Suicide, one serving member stated in the interim report that and I quote, tertiary education or proper employment program and genuine gratitude for veterans is, I believe, the key to solving the veteran suicide issue in this country. As I've repeated time and again in this place and outside it, it is high time for Australia to introduce a scheme like the United States GI Bill to back veterans in their transition into civilian life. A Commonwealth-assisted tertiary education for veterans scheme, or what I would call the Digger Bill, would provide free tuition to eligible participants recognising their unique training and practical experience and honouring their service. If we do this properly by engaging industry, academia, defence and the community sector, this reform stands to revolutionise the way we support, equip and honour our veterans and their families. I want to send a big shout-out to Harry Moffat, who I've been working with on this Digger Bill for a number of over 12 months, over 18 months. He's a great fellow doing terrific work for veterans in this space. Well done, Harry.
Thank the member for Fisher.